here.
Brian Ryder here. Pat Sheehan here.
Barry Delcamber here.
Emily Doran here.
Do we have any in the room public comments or online that are not on the agenda?
Don't think so. No other comments.
We'll take one quick second to make sure everybody has met Esther, who's replacing Stan as our attorney representative.
Man, I'm gonna miss
Hello,
him.
everyone. I'm happy to be here.
Be so sad.
I forgot.
Sounds great.
Glad
We
you're here.
asked the same
Welcome.
question at the end of the meeting and try and see what see if the answer is different.
Sometimes it is. Okay, we have discussion and possible action on the minutes from the May 19th, 2025 RCDC meeting. Do we have
Motion to approve.
a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, that takes care of that one. We're on a roll. Okay, the next one is discussion, update, and possible action on hiring a landscape architect to design and define parking areas, fence lines, tree and landscaping locations for improvement in the park. That's part of our handout here. And Melissa, do you want to kind of do an introduction of what you guys have been doing and asking what you're asking for?
Sure. Melissa Morrow, 2502 Timberline Drive, and the Parks Commission Chair. So what you have in the pictures is a very basic idea of what we are going to be asking a landscape architect to design and define parking areas, fence lines, where we want to do tree placements and landscaping. And, oh, I don't have on here, included in that landscaping is sort of the entrance area that's adjacent to the parking area. I want to brag for 1 minute and also thank RCDC for the money that you all gave for the improvement behind the upper field house. If you liked that project, you're gonna love this one. We have the same aesthetics and the same concepts. I know there's a lot of things that we can do in the park, and we are looking at them at a lot of different things, but our Parks Commission is trying to pick things that are non-controversial and easy and really obvious, and also possibly not sexy for an individual sponsor to want to pay for. Like, when was the last time you were like, I can't wait to pay for parking, a parking lot? But this is going to be the most beautiful parking lot you've ever seen. So we will try to make it as beautiful and fun and supportable. But this is sort of an infrastructure improvement that we know we need. It basically will, some of the design things that we wanted to make sure we included in it was not creating any more heat than is already necessary in the area around the park. And so what we really want is them to design something that uses I keep calling it the honeycomb or grid system, or it's a grass grid, but it is very permanent. It's looks like little honeycombs in the ground. You can see in some of your pictures what that looks like. You can fill those honeycomb areas with grass or with gravel. We will probably do a mixture of both of those things. Where we don't have irrigation, we don't get enough water, we have too much driving it back and forth, we'll probably use gravel, and where we feel like we can get some grass going, we'll use grass. So getting back to the design, basically one of the elements we have in here is a possible gate. This is we know we have enough parking in that side area and the front, or what I'll call what would that be? The east long parking, or the south small parking. We have enough spaces there really to accommodate most people on most days. Now, on days we have baseball games where we have 3 different teams going, or not even 3 different teams, 3 different games going in 6 teams, we probably need to utilize that back part, the 12 and 14 spaces. We'd like to at least encourage us to have that gate down when we don't need that extra parking, so that when we look at our park, we're not looking at tree parking lot in the very back of it. As much of the year as possible, we're really looking at green space. And then you'll see in this design, I did go and talk to Chad Smith from Western Hills Little League and Jay Weintraub, who's the president of Western Hills Little League, about this parking idea. And I did warn them that it would mean having to bring the fence in slightly, about 10 to 15 feet, so we would be eating up. And they said the trade-off of being able to have a more safe and better organized parking is well worth it. So what you're seeing is that blue line is basically bringing the fence in a little bit. It keeps the trail still between the parking area and the fence line, and then it makes a little jog and it goes around. The back part of that parking, again, we're hoping maybe we can have that be an additional green space when we aren't parking more cars back there, but we'll have to wait and see how that goes. So we are asking for $15,000. That includes the landscape architect design and actual construction documents that we can take for going out to bid for the project. I cannot tell you, I'm not a landscape architect and I'm not a construction, but from the little bit of asking around that we did, we believe the overall project will probably cost in the neighborhood of $250,000, maybe $300,000. I always like to come in under budget. Again, I don't want to brag, but I do believe you approved like $50,000 for the retaining wall, and we did it for $30,000. So we're on a good roll with that. Let's see. Yeah, so we're asking for $15,000. We may need an additional $2,000. I believe we will need an additional $2,000 for the topography. We did get the survey and the city approved it, and then when they approved it, they went for the cheaper one, which did not include the topography, and we need the topography in order to get the construction documents. So I guess technically Parks was asking for 15, but we know now that we'll probably need 17 for the topo to be done as well. In my ideal world, let me tell you how this would go. We would all agree on this. We would feel fantastic about it. We would, you all would approve it, and then tomorrow at Parks, I would give them an update about it, and then it would go to council. Council has to approve it as well on September 17th. And once they approve it, we would be able to take it out to get to go get a landscape architect. If that landscape architect was ready to move, let's say he, in 4 weeks after that, so I'm putting it October at the latest, November, have some documents we could put out for bid, and then actually get some bids back. And in our windows of when are best to do this would be around November 15th to probably around February 15th to maybe March 1. If we miss that window and we're into the baseball season, we would probably want to wait until the summer. So we'd probably be looking at, June, July, August. So that's sort of just to give you an idea of how we're trying to think about it. The best time to plant a tree is in the winter. So, ideally this design would help us know where we were going to put our trees, and we could get those trees in this year. You guys have already funded the trees, so we know that that's going to happen. We just like to see them start growing up. Okay, I know I covered a lot of different things in that. So if y'all have questions about this, there's one more thing, and this is a big thing. In your discussions, one of the things that the Parks Commission did not want to do is have you approve $17,000 or $15,000 for plans that you have no intention of funding in the future for the $250,000 or $300,000 that we're going to use. Because the city doesn't need another set of plans of beautiful ideas to sit someplace that's not going to get used. I know I can't, and I'm not here to ask you for that $250,000 or $300,000, but we just think it's really important that you include that in your conversation, because if you are thinking, if anyone's thinking, absolutely not, I could not support spending that much money on the parking and the landscaping and the entrance area, then we'd like to hear that now, because we'd be needing to look at other funding for that.
So a couple of questions. If we can speak now. When you talk to the Little League group, the canopy of the trees back, the ones that kind of overset the first baseball field, were they okay with that, or would they be curved back? I mean, those look to be like big gallon trees, which obviously
including that thought in the sense that where the trees are most likely the places that would provide shade to where people are sitting and not be in their necessarily outfield. So, for instance, if you look at the most northern area, it's actually over the bleachers that are in that area, and this area also is more in, that's on the east side.
This part, sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
horrible
no.
with directions, but this is the east, and then so this two,
Yeah,
these
yeah.
two little like bubbles, right? That's all.
Oh, you mean for softball? Yeah, we can definitely, when we talk about place, this is just
Yeah, yeah.
beautifying.
But it's showing a tree that's like
We can move, we
50
can make,
years old also.
Yep.
It's like at its max.
but you're right, someday it will be 50 years old.
Yeah.
We may move it farther this way to
Yeah, I
get
mean,
in.
just
Yeah.
some type, like, there's a lot of trees you can like, you know, shade to
Mhm.
like grow,
Yes.
like,
Yep.
what's the term, like,
Oh.
you can basically like groom them to make
Yeah,
them like grow
yes,
a certain way.
exactly.
So, I don't know. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure that's something that's gonna piss somebody off. You're like, hey, by the way, you have like a giant maple road tree that's like over the outfield.
The idea there is there's just like kind of this weird little interstitial
Yeah.
space that would make a great hangout spot
Yeah.
for people coming and going, dog people.
It's hilarious how it's held, so I get it. I just
Yeah.
when you take it out there and you just take that. The other quick question. I mean, we're already at like 200, maybe 300,000, but I don't know what, but there's like a whole like over here, whatever side. So east west,
Uh-huh.
right? Playground. Is there any thought of like making that more of a native playground? Like, for instance, like, I mean, I don't know if anyone ever has gone to Trinity recently, but they redid like their playscape to like be something that is very nature and like
Creative.
it's like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's very organic feeling, right? So if you have like, we're doing all this and then make this other area instead of being hot metal and like that mesh, but
Mhm.
it's very like carved wood and like rope and
It's not on your agenda tonight, so I guess you can't talk back to me about it,
no,
but
not till it's
there is on that back page, you'll see nature play.
yeah, okay, that is
And
what it
so
is. Okay.
it's not the part of the park that you're talking about. But tomorrow, if you want to come to the Parks Commission meeting, we have a recommendation that you'll probably see coming down to you for basically taking that area that Gomez has just finished and extending it through the park. So we keep that look going through, that'll be more nature play. It's not on your agenda tonight because
I
it
know it's
came,
unfortunate,
but first, this was when Parks came up with the things that they wanted to do, we wanted to just bite off what we felt like we could do. So we started with that parking area. It does not keep us from doing those improvements to the playground area at all.
Okay.
And as a quick, we believe we might be able to get that done for 12,000. So if you want to throw that into your thoughts. Not the whole playscape, but making the natural look around it, so that the aesthetic extends around the park.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe this is a discussion for parks. It was more of like, what if you like ripped that out and put like a native playscape in there that it was much more, I don't know how to describe it, but like maybe only it's a
Yeah,
picture, but
yeah.
there's like
It's a
thematic of
movement,
it. It
yeah,
looks like a fort, like a giant
Looks
fort.
like a giant fort.
yeah.
Right, that's like safe also. I mean, it's not like spikes and.
So there's a big movement right now. It's so funny that you say that. So
For kids.
in my regular job, we have a preschool, and we go through licensing every year, and then also through when you get accreditation.
Yeah.
And all the accreditors right now in playground play are moving to all natural stuff. And so that is something that we will talk about, not tonight, but we will talk about going forward. It's also a more fun and, like I said, sexy one to look for individual donors. So one of the other things that the Parks Commission is launching or relaunching, because it exists right now, is the Friends of Rollingwood Park. And so the idea would be, yes, RCDC, we would love for you guys to pay for the things that you can. But if there's things that people come to us and say, hey, I would really like to help y'all in the parks, we are looking for projects like that, like some playscape areas and some more beautification things. And you'll also see probably in the next year, once we finish these projects, us looking at the field house and how can we make that more accessible and more usable all year round.
Okay.
When you plant trees, if you don't water them, they die.
Yes.
What is the plan for irrigation?
It will be, irrigation will be included. So when they do the landscape plan, they include the irrigation that goes along with it. And just so you know, Gomez put that in with irrigation and with drainage.
And then there's a gate, and the 34 spaces that are on the east side are to some degree used in the summertime by the pool people, I think, of which I'm one, but I don't park there. But does this plan in any way accommodate or cause problems to, or do we end that use? What is the impact, if any, of the pool use of some of this parking?
We did not make we're not changing, we're not asking at this time for any changes to what is I don't know if there's a formal agreement. Again, that's not part of parks.
I don't think there is.
Yeah.
Several years ago, I got asked by Park Commission people to being a lawyer, do kind of a title search of what the pool owns and versus what the city owns. And the property line is the existing fence of the fenced pool area. And interesting history of how it got there, but it finally got cleaned up. But anyway, the parking area is entirely within city property.
Yeah.
And I'm not aware that there's any right of the pool to be using that, but it is de facto being used. And we've got a dumpster in there, by the way, that we share with our park.
Actually, we
operations
don't.
people share with the pool.
Technically, the city does not pay for that dumpster, and they do not use it. They don't direct their staff to use it. People in the park use it, but it will likely be one of the things that we ask be removed from that area, so that the first thing when you drive in the park is not a dumpster.
Oh, come on, so decorative.
I love using that dumpster.
Go for dinner.
Throw all kinds of stuff in there.
I'm sure I mean, I'm a member of the pool, and I'm sure we can find an area for the dumpster as well
All
on
right.
our property.
And the transparent fencing is a nice idea, but I don't know that it has longevity to it. With people running into fences and playing, kids playing and whatnot, it's just, I have not seen that kind of fence last very long. I'm only concerned about the gate in the sense that it needs to, we need to make it work for emergency access in the event that a grandparent whose kid was playing back there got really excited and needed an EMS. I don't think it's ever happened here, but it's something that when you plan youth complexes, youth sports complexes, emergency access is one of the things that is on the checklist to be thought about. And so that gate needs to be what they call a crash gate probably, which means that the EMS will either have a key or you just run through it and get back to the back.
Sure.
So just details. That's something that to discuss with the architect. And I imagine the architect will know enough to be able to be putting all that in any case.
Gates are also expensive. I don't understand the point of the gate, but that's also like an expensive cost. I mean, gates are $20,000 to $30,000 depending on what kind of gate you're putting in there.
Yeah.
You're looking at $300,000 to be 10% of that cost, just putting a gate in there for reasons. I'm fine with approving the $17,000. It's just when we look at the gate, like that'll be something to come back
Yeah.
to. Of like maybe we don't put a gate in for reasons. I know we already bifurcate where you can go and cannot go during ACL and other places. So this is just another reason of putting another apartheid in the city. So
We can get a bid and then
Yeah.
see if it's something that we feel brings value.
yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say is it feels, I just want to call out the park master plan, which I know you know.
Mm-hmm.
And has any of this been discussed, like as you're thinking through, kind of like Gary's point, like there's this part over here, there was the trees, now there's this. It's like, are we going to put ourselves in a spot where we're just doing all these little piecemeal pieces instead of the whole kit and caboodle, right? And so I just want to be on record saying, like, it feels sure. But I just want to know, like, are we gonna approve all these smaller projects and then put ourselves in a spot where we're not actually fixing the bigger stuff?
And the cost aspect. Yeah. Again, I would preface it with like I think it's a no-brainer that something like this needs
Yes,
to be done.
of course.
And I love some of the concepts that you guys have illustrated. But just like even thinking about what you were talking about, Brian, about watering, and then I think about some of the other things on the list. Whether it be field house, whether it be sprinklers for those back ball fields. It's not only do we potentially piecemeal ourselves into a problem. It's how much more do we end up spending when we knew all along we really had about $1 million in projects that we probably could have gotten a significant discount on, but did it in pieces. I mean, I think we'll still end up probably doing it in phases, but if we know, hey, it's these 10 things.
Right.
It's $1.5 million. It's a 2.5-year project. Some things are funded by RCDC. Some things, I love that idea. I think you're right. You have those things that people
Yeah.
would want to be a part of. I think those are my two big concerns. It's just kind of coming off of that. It was not just the design into a corner, so to speak, but the cost as well.
Well, we don't have $1.5 million, so it's not like you can like sign an agreement for $1.5 million to get a discount.
No.
You can only hope and pray that you're
But-
going to do $1.5 million.
But we don't, I wanna see a bigger plan, which is the park master plan that I go back to, right? I know it's 2018 and it's a bit dated. I'm not saying we do another survey plan, no.
But it has most of the
But it
things.
has
in
a lot of
we've
the
talked
stuff
about.
that we're proposing, right? And so but how can we have it make more sense for the big picture?
Is there something from the park master plan this is missing for you that
No, so-
precludes us from doing?
My concern is it's piecemealed. It was the trees, now it's the parking and the other pieces. But then I hear from many people that the park master plan is not something we follow, right? So I'm sort of in this place of, I just wanna know, what's our North Star?
So.
And I know that's a loaded question.
It,
You don't
well,
have to answer
it's
it.
not. Before I got on Parks, Parks hadn't approved a project in 20 years.
Yep.
You got your retaining wall, approved that we could get through a process, we could fund it, and we could do it.
Right.
And that was to build some trust about that we have an aesthetic that people agree with and is sustainable for the staff, is something that everyone can agree on and wants to do. This is a big project. I mean, that's a $30,000 project. This is a $250,000 project. And you're already questioning it. Can you imagine if I tried to come to you with we're going to change the playground down here, we're going to change the playground up there, we're going to do the parking lot, we're going to put in, I mean, I'm not even sure I can get people to agree on that gate. I know that everyone knows that parking lot needs to get done. It's about safety, and we picked a project and a design that goes along with the park master plan. I participated with the city of Austin in the Lamar Beach master plan. They spent $350,000, $500,000 10 years ago. They have done zero on it. Okay, so I also can appreciate how the master plan's great with the council that passes it and the Parks Commission that passes it and the people who are voting for stuff in that moment. I'm telling you that in this moment with this council and with this RCDC and this Parks Commission, I can get this big project done. I do not believe that I could find a master plan that incorporates all of the things from our Parks master plan and get it anywhere.
No, I agree with you. I just think if it's, right now it's this, what's the next 2 or 3 things?
Well, the other-
So that's why I said the next 2 or 3 things are looking at the playground, making that more
Right.
natural, looking at the field house, which we already
Right.
own, and then seeing, because again, a lot of times when you make an improvement, you realize, oh, now I see this whole back area, can be used in a different, or people are using it in a different way because there is a gate, and so half of the year, people are using it in a new way. They're throwing frisbees, or I don't know how they're gonna. There's a Tai Chi class out there. I do think this is something we can do, and it will be a huge improvement, and people will be like, oh my gosh, thank you. What I would hate to see happen is we did the beautification retaining wall, and that's all we ever accomplished. So,
Yeah, again, I think in your example though, that does, the example being the retaining wall, yes, a great project, and we got to see the aesthetic and stuff like that, but had it not been for Alex revisiting that design, it never would have looked like that. So we would have done a piecemeal project that looked nothing like what happened here. And I think the reason why we're starting to get that aesthetic is because she in particular, you've done a lot of really great, pictures of what all this stuff would look like, and it's starting to look like a master plan. And so it's a pretty strong case for getting that type of result requiring a holistic design. Not requiring that we fund all 10 projects at once, but that we have we do a $50,000 design of all 10 of these things that are in the plan, and then we start to knock them off, and we have two things we know we do. If there's something that combines irrigation and saves us $100,000, well then we would want to do that. If it doesn't, who cares? But we would see where we would keep ourselves from stepping on toes, and also I think it would I think it is important that with big projects like this, I think this one's not a problem because it's such a no-brainer, is like when you start thinking about the field house, or you start thinking about some of these other things, who gets to weigh in on this? You know what I mean? I feel like we are a little bit of distance from when people got to kind of weigh in on things.
Well, the city council's gonna weigh in on it,
Right.
and the park commission's gonna weigh in on it. I mean, there'll be plenty of eyes with some of them very agreeable with what she's proposing, and some, like, we're talking about here, expanding it. But I think you've got to do it in steps that you can absorb and do and complete, versus having this grand scheme again and putting it in the drawer for 10 or 15
Almost
years.
a decade out from that master plan. Like
Yeah.
the whole damn neighborhood's almost turned over. I mean, not really, because a lot of people are scared.
yeah.
But I mean,
But I'm just saying, you've got to, I think what's been proposed is an excellent idea to improve the parking lot and improve the appearance of the park. And there's nothing that she's doing that's going to get redone in additional work in my mind, because it's basically fencing around the baseball field and trees.
yeah. I mean, the only thing that I would think would be a concern if there was a proposal here for like irrigation, and we do the clubhouse. I mean, just thinking through that, and then all of a sudden you have heavy machinery going in there to redo the clubhouse, and you bust all the irrigation. That would be like a concern.
When the ball field's irrigation doesn't work to the limit.
And so we have talked to Kevin, just to give you a little update on
that's
that.
helpful, yes.
So we did go and walk it with Kevin and with, I think, LRI and somebody else that's a possible irrigator. And we told them, we're proposing this. And so as you do your design, think about being able to, but part of them putting off the irrigation is to do the parking.
Yeah.
And so it's like every time we keep putting it off because we haven't made another decision is why you have a master plan that nothing has gotten done on. And so I just think that this is something that we all feel is affordable, reasonable, But absolutely. When we get to the field house, we're going to want more input. We're going to want, but right now we had 2 years of meeting getting people's input to get here. So I just, anyway, y'all have it before you, and you know what it is.
Each of these projects drives interest
Each of these projects drives interest
in
in people wanting to be, they're like, look, they did that project, it came out really good. Yeah, I want to give to the parks. I now have real, respect and ownership of that park. I mean, that's half the city of Austin's problems is the parks that look good, it's because those neighbors dug in and they made those improvements and they made it happen. And the parks that look terrible, it's because the people around them are not going into them. And the better they look, the more people want to give into them.
The only thing I'll say is, if we only do the easy stuff and we don't do the hard stuff, that's also, I don't think, good for the community.
This is hard.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I'm saying, but there's
For those of us who've
definitely-
gone through 2 years of trying to put this together, it was not easy.
Right, but it's a pretty logical thing. There's also
Yeah.
some logical things, I think, on the list that, you said yourself, with this council, with this RCDC, with this Parks Commission,
I encourage you and anyone else to come to those council meetings and come to the Parks Commission meeting and tell us what are the hard things you want us to tackle, because this
Well,
is
I think
what
we
people
have.
kept telling us.
I think we have it.
I mean,
RCDC.
Okay.
let's
Yeah,
take
yeah.
one. Let's take one right out of the plan that may or may not be guiding us. This back part here, where we have the 12 to 14 spaces here. Once we claim that land with a new capital project, for those that are interested, not me, who I don't have kids that play ball and I don't have kids that have dogs, or family that has dogs, but there was a significant group of people that wanted a dedicated dog park. And once we start doing stuff like this, then the land's gone. And so those are things that are in that plan that this particular plan could take off the table.
None of those people have come and spoke at Parks. In the last 2 years. I'm just saying, the last 2 years.
I think that's where the
Yeah.
confusion sort of is on the plan. Like when I first, came in and started doing it, the plan's not that old. It's 2018. It's written in English. It had thousands of people.
So it's 7 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's talking about the exact
Yeah.
same things,
Yeah.
fixing
Yeah.
parking. I mean, like why we haven't been able to do that is like to your point. It's amazing that we've not made any more progress than that. But I mean, I just don't know why we're not just going right off of that plan and having those things designed and built.
We are, though. This
Well,
is
I just
one
gave-
of
I
the
just
things
gave
in
an
that
example of
plan.
a hard thing no one wants to talk about, though.
Yeah.
But that space, when it's green, it can be anything.
Yeah.
We're really just, you're working the edges. If you wanna turn that into a dog park, if you wanna reapportion.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm saying I do. I'm just saying
Yeah.
once it's gone, it's gone.
It's not gone. It's
just
still a
grass.
green space. In fact, it's more of a green space than it
Yeah,
is
it'd be-
now.
Yeah, it'd be better.
Because it'll have that. Will it
'Cause
have
it'll
that
have-
honeycomb as well?
It will have the honeycomb with grass.
It'll be a green parking, green playfield.
So like during baseball season, you could move the dogs back there. I mean,
Yeah, or you could play soccer back there,
Well, you don't-
or people can have yoga class back there. It has more uses than having asphalt, which is what we have right now.
Yeah.
Is there any place that I can go and nearby that can see what these grass growing through the pervious cover looks like and how it holds up? I haven't seen a good example of that works yet. I'd like to go see one.
You know where you might see pictures. This is going to sound super weird, but before they redid the stadium for Tampa Bay years ago, their parking lot looked like this, and it was amazing that it was like football games were there. You know the amount of traffic you have at a football game, and it stood up remarkably well. It's some really interesting pictures.
That's a little far for me to go to see.
The Q2.
I'm gonna show you the internet.
the
It's
Q-
gonna blow your mind.
So you can go to the domain. The Q2.
Will.
The Q2 stadium uses some of this.
Oh, cool.
And not to set myself on fire, but I believe part of the Milk and Cookies parking lot also uses it
The one over by,
on 35th
the one
Street.
by the dumpster.
No, not that one. No. The one that's on 35th Street or near 35th and 37th. Yeah.
There's also some things in, East Austin, but this is also trying to show you. Can you please go to the mic?
Alex Robinette. They're trying to be authentic about what happens when the grass starts dying in some of these pictures and what it's going to look like in August if it's not raining. And so what's nice is that there's still structure to the parking spaces. You can use these little pucks to define a parking spot, or you can use gravel.
I'm not against
Yeah.
it. I'm
You
just
see it in
concerned
person.
about maintenance, ongoing maintenance, and does it have legs? Does it have a length of life that?
We actually went through everybody that was listed on the websites there's 2 different products, and we reached out to them to ask them about their experience and, the positives and negatives and all of those things. So we actually have a spreadsheet with that information. So
Let's go over there, find a spot. We'll go do donuts after it rains and see if it holds up. I'll take you.
I'll take you.
Colin, one of your concerns about going forward, what we're getting into, if the irrigation I asked a question about was the infrastructure, but it also means that we are going to have a line item every year. Somebody's got to have a line item, either the city or us or
For ongoing maintenance.
for water.
When
not
we,
going
when
anywhere.
we get the construction documents, we'll have an opportunity to have a discussion about whether we pick gravel or grass. And I think it'll be important for us to talk to our staff about, so if this is grass and you're having to mow it, like, what do you see that, what's the increase? Because I agree with you. I mean, one of the things that is a constant concern on our Parks Commission is not loading more things for our staff to be doing and not making it more expensive to maintain the park. So that will have to be in our decision making about some of the, whether we do grass or rock there.
And Melissa, I'm not against
Oh, yeah,
these
I don't think you are.
expenses. I think that we need to just build into our expectations of this group, not just the capital expense, but the ongoing maintenance and operation.
Mm.
And then means that we may have to hire an extra person,
Mhm.
subsidize the city to have an extra person to do maintenance, just a
We
budget.
can't fund that, can we?
Yeah, I think we can. Lawyer? I
That's
mean,
true.
if we put in the capital to build something, I think that the statute allows us to maintain and.
I literally don't know, I'm just asking.
Yeah, I think the lawyer answer is it depends. I would need more information on that.
Again, that can be part of our discussion. Yep.
Somewhere we have to find and know that we've got that money, because you
Well, I
plant
think-
trees, if you don't water them, they die. If you plant grass and you don't water
Oh,
it,
yeah.
it dies. So we need to be realistic about what obligations we're taking on. I'm all for doing it. This is not a criticism, it is just trying to be realistic about what it is we're taking on.
Well,
And you're talking about being realistic about other issues. I'll shut up in a second, Pat. About other issues, but it's the same concept here, that we need to be knowingly understanding what it is that we're committing to.
Mhm.
You're on.
I think you're looking at really, truly incremental costs. We're already watering that space out there, that park.
But new
So-
trees do take a lot of water.
Yeah.
I mean, having
Well-
planted new trees by the city requirement, it takes quite a bit of water.
Very nice.
You already funded the trees.
But we didn't fund the water.
You
Right.
didn't.
We know we funded the trees.
I mean, every like. I mean,
'Cause if we're
every
gonna take
time we
another
take
step
3 gallons of
backward.
water, so, like,
Bring your own bucket and water them.
That's right.
I mean, I think it's a fair point, but we would expect all that to come back, I think, with the landscape design,
Yeah.
right, which
Yep.
would be operational costs.
But
And, because we could see all kinds of interesting things, we could see that the gate's $1 gazillion, and that's, let's go out the gate. We could see that the water's a little more than we thought, we gotta make sure we figure out.
We
where
plant
that is.
trees that don't take a ton of water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the gate's more of like a very utilitarian.
Yes, it is.
It's not like a state
I'm
gate.
just, that's not my real point. I'm just saying we could run into all kinds of
Yeah.
things that shape it. But I think the point being is when the design comes back, there's still room for discussion of,
Mhm.
and reacting to that based on aesthetics, based on costs, based on, whatever we find.
I mean, it sounds like we're on the hook. I mean, we would potentially be on the hook for most of it. So I think there's a lot of room for us to shape whatever the hell comes back. I mean, $17,000 to get this going, and then figure out how to cut and carve it to make sure it makes sense and works. Because, like, I mean, there's no other coffers to go to besides us and maybe a few benefactors of the city, which to date, minus a few people, haven't really stepped up. So it sounds like it's on RCDC, either
discussion and possible action on the resolution to approve the fiscal year 25-26 budget for the Rollingwood Community Development Court. That is also the same philosophy if we would just go and ask project by project.
Motion to approve?
Do we have a budget?
What's that?
Doc, you have a piece of paper that says the budget?
Do you have a copy of it, Michaela?
As best I can tell,
I-
Pat,
Did you
there's
get
a
one?
line, there's a few lines here for 25-06, 25-26 proposed budget in here, and I teased that out.
Okay, I didn't see that.
Is what we just approved, though, the $17,000 we just approved, I guess that
That's
there's
not
a
in there.
$50,000 line for park improvement projects.
That'd be it, yeah.
And that's,
Yeah.
And everything else is ad hoc, essentially, the way
Right.
we're running it. So essentially, it's,
It's the same.
we don't do omnibus anymore, so it's, we do,
Yeah, all right.
We do project based.
So we do have some printouts coming for you, but yes, Colin, you are correct. I mean, the only difference in the proposed budget to the current year budget is that the sales tax revenue has been doing very well. So that's moved up from 15,000 this year to 20 next year. We believe 20 is a conservative figure here on the staff level.
Thank you.
But that's the only difference there, so that the projects can be done as necessary on the ad hoc basis.
Exactly.
and you get
Thank you.
fancy new branding photos.
True.
For sure.
So like this park amenities and promotion, that was just that proposed,
Yeah, that's just something we put in there for ourselves every year. If there was
If we want-
something
yeah.
that made sense, a new business came,
Yeah.
whatever. We've never really used it.
okay,
We could do
So-
grocery bags for Trader Joe's.
that's right.
uh,
So I still motion to approve.
We have a
Second,
second.
I would like to second that.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Takes care of the budget. Okay, discussion and possible action to authorize the City of Rollingwood's Finance Director to transfer funds between RCDC's depository and the investment accounts on behalf of the corporation. So,
I would like to make this the most high-risk investment we could make. Let's go all bet on black. I don't have any other discussion other than,
so
we legally have to do this.
what's that?
We legally, I think, have to move it over. We have to
Well, we're doing it, so this is the, let me explain the difference. Right now, we're doing it, a couple meetings ago, we put through the authorization so that it didn't have to be, I think, either Pat or me or Bobby
Yeah.
or something like that. It could be operations staff or administrative staff here. This ask is for us to set whatever we want to keep in cash,
Yeah, that's it.
so that they can, on an ongoing basis,
Sweep it.
continue to
Yeah.
sweep it.
Where are we?
I don't know exactly where we are. Do we have the where we are numbers?
800 plus, isn't it?
Well,
I think we have to stand.
financial statements say we've got.
I'm sorry?
I think we have, I mean, I think we have the standard 500. The rest has to get swept in, right? Isn't that the rule?
We just picked a number the first time.
Yeah.
No, there's a legal requirement for how much before we have to roll it over.
I would need guidance on this.
I don't know of one, but I'm looking over here at the attorney. I don't know of one.
I thought
I don't-
we had to put in short-term securities. Sorry, the previous guy that didn't like me said that.
Oh yes. So at the moment, so the City of Rollingwood and RCDC as well, the only investment that we make is in text pool. Text pool is very liquid, so if we withdraw the funds, it's always available by the next business day.
Okay.
So they already have that liquidity built into it. So the proposal here was, as the president said, here to try and make it so that at the discretion of the finance director, those funds are automatically invested. That way we're not losing out on a lot of the interest, because a lot of interest we made as these projects are kind of fleshed out over here. We'll make sure that we're making as much money as we can with those investments.
I mean, I was thinking maybe we just keep 100,000 in cash and sweep everything else.
Yeah.
I think so.
I mean,
I
it's
mean,
fine.
with 24-hour availability, I don't know what the heck else we.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right. Do I have a motion? We have a motion to pass that.
Motion to,
Second.
So motion to. All right.
motion to keep a minimum of 100K in
The operating cash.
In the operating.
in the
cash.
operating account.
And sweep the rest into text pool.
Yes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. And RCDC financials through July 2025. Do we have those?
They're on the board.
On the board.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can read that.
I can't read that from here, but I read it out. So I
Wait,
got
is it a little over 800?
Hmm?
Is it a little over 800 total?
Yeah.
Yeah,
836.
836.
Excellent.